What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. And today I'm going to talk about the books that I'm currently reading. I've started reading this book as well. Of course, you guys know that I'm reading kids' stories nowadays because I know I don't have any storybooks with me. I mean, in my collection of there are around 20 24 books right in front of me in a set where I would say almost each and every single book is a self-help book category only. I mean, a book from the self-help category only. But the only book that I don't have among the self-help category is this one, Sachin Tendulkar's autobiography, Playing It My Way. Right. So wonderful book. I'm a huge fan of Sachin Tendulkar. I've always been a huge fan of Sachin Tendulkar. In fact, he is my most favorite cricketer of all time. This is the thickness. Yes, it is indeed a thick book, and I have definitely not read even half of it. But I will definitely read most of it, if not completely. But still, I've read most of this book. Very nice book. It costed me somewhere around 350 rupees something from Amazon, because it was not available elsewhere. I tried to look for the same book. uh, just a minute, please allow me a second. Allow me a minute, I mean. Yeah, so I tried to look for it at Misho also, uh, but it was not available at Misho. Otherwise, I would have purchased it from there, because I usually look for books on Misho, just so that if I might find them for cheaper, because you can buy most of the books for very cheap on Misho. And I've definitely purchased a few books from Misho as well. In my collection there are many books, uh, around, I can say, not half, or maybe, yeah, maybe around half of the books are from Misho only. And I bought them in very good quality and in very good price. So most of the books that I've seen for around 300 400 rupees on Amazon can easily be bought around 100 to 200 rupees on Misho. So you can find the books half of the rate in comparison to Amazon. All right, that's basically not the point majorly, or maybe kind of point. Yeah, so what I was saying, that I don't have any storybooks or anything. I have just the self-help category books only. So that's why I purchased this book. uh it's 151 Akbar and Birbal stories. So I started reading this one as well. I read around 4 to 5 stories yesterday, and I will maybe give a shot to another 4 to 5 stories at least today as well. And another book that I'm reading nowadays, since last 3 4 days, is since around a week, I can say, is Word Power Made Easy. Although this is a book that I've purchased long back. And the thing was, when I had purchased this book, definitely for my vocabulary enhancement only. I think it's been around 4 to 5 years at least since I bought this book, and it was just sitting idle in my Almira, and I didn't even touch this book. I mean, I tried to solve, I tried to do some sessions with this book when I had purchased it, but it stayed there for. Uh, I mean, I did that for maybe a few days only, and then I stopped it, and I just kept it in my Almira for all these years. Fortunately, it's in a very good condition, and I had purchased it for around 130 rupees. Yes, it's a cheap book, but the kind of improvement and enhancement it can do to your vocabulary is not cheap. This is probably the best book when it comes to enhancing your vocabulary, your English vocabulary, right? Let me tell you the name again. It's Word Power Made Easy by Norman Lewis, right? And yes, it's a thick book. It is indeed a thick book. I've started reading it again, and this is not a book to be read. It's a book to be understood. There are so many lessons dedicated to vocabulary enhancement and the etymology, basically how words originate in a language, in especially in in English language, and what is the reason behind the structure of all the words, and how they originated, from where they originated, what are their roots, and everything. There are exercises, there are sessions in each and every single chapter to be solved. So this is a book, it's an exercise sort of book. But let me tell you, agar if you can finish even quarter of this book, I mean, you can definitely finish this entire book also, there is no point in that. But what I'm saying is that even if you dedicatedly solve even 25 to 30% of this book, your vocabulary is gonna rock up to a very big level. Trust me. And if you finish it, then of course you might become the next Shakespeare, or maybe even Shakespeare would salute you, as you can become very attractive. See, I'm not comparing you to anybody, or anybody to you. This is just a metaphor sort of thing. What I'm trying to say is that this is indeed a wonderful book. And yeah, other than these books, the 151 Akbar Birbal stories, because I have started enjoying reading stories now. I'm reading these books also. As I've already mentioned in the previous videos, that these are the books that I've purchased. These are basically kids' books. That Big Akbar Birbal stories also dedicatedly made for kids only. So I'm reading them and I'm enjoying them, because they're very short stories, summed up in a matter of 6, 7 or 8 pages only. These Akbar Birbal stories are summed up in just a single page or even half of the page, right? So they are way shorter stories than even these one, because these books are at least dedicated to an entire book. The stories dedicated to an entire book, so all those 6 to 7 to 8 pages are dedicated to one single story. But in Akbar Bilber stories, there are 151 stories in just a single book, and that too not a very thick book, and even the text is pretty decent enough, pretty good enough, pretty big enough, so you can understand. uh, I've already talked about the length of the story and everything, and I showed you this as well in the previous video. Yesterday, I started reading this book, Treasure Island, but I didn't understand anything. To be honest, it sounded a bit technical to me. I will maybe uh, go and watch a very short story video about this. Maybe I can understand something out of that video story, and then I will definitely give at least a couple more reads to this. So whichever book I'm reading that those books for at least 2 to 3 times, because repetition is very important in order to enhance your language skills also. So don't just read once, read at least twice. If you can read thrice, is very good. I mean, if you understand, let me tell you one thing: how many times you have to read, after what, at what level. I mean, see, if you understand every damn thing in the first attempt itself, it's very good. Give it one more read, because in another read, we still come across certain things that we missed in the first attempt or in the first read. That happens no matter how confident or how good you feel. Still, with every other read, not every other read, with second read, in my context, you will feel like you have, you got to know something new. You got to know maybe some new context, or maybe some new word, or maybe the aspect of a word or words in somewhat different way. I hope you're understanding what I'm saying, right? So that this is why giving a couple more reads to anything is never a bad idea. And of course, if you don't understand any story or any context in the first attempt, then of course you should give multiple reads till the time you start to understand, or you understand that particular story completely. Once you understand it completely, then I would say you should give one more read, even after understanding everything completely. Then also you should give a one more read, not to understand the story better, but maybe to enhance the language skills even further. And it always helps, definitely. That is why it is said, repetition and novelty. In language acquisition, it is said repetition and novelty. You must repeat whatever you are listening to, you must repeat whatever you are reading to. It is not recommended to read and listen to more and more of content on a daily basis. No, even if you're consuming lesser content, but you are consuming it in terms of repetitions, you are giving repetitions to it, then you acquire a language way better than continuously switching to newer and newer and newer content, because that's how you don't acquire a language very well. See, the dialogues that we generally speak of movies and of the series and everything, how, how do we become so fluent at those particular dialogues? Because we watch those dialogues multiple times. It can never happen, it usually never happens that you have watched something just for once, a movie or a dialogue just for once only, and it got on tips for you, and you became so familiar and habitual with that particular dialogue, or with that particular movie scenes or anything. It usually doesn't happen. Why you became so fluent? Because you watched that a particular thing multiple times and many times, and that's how your language got better. I mean, of course, if you watch bad content, your language will go worse, because practice makes a man perfect, but practice makes a man perfect in a thing which he or she practices of. If you'll continue to listen to bad quality language, your language eventually will become a bad quality language, right? This is why it is generally said to be in a good environment, to listen to good things, to stay in good environment, right? And when it comes to language, just listen to good language, quality language, right? So definitely I'm going to give some good reads, some multiple reads to this treasure island story. I was about to lose it out of my hand. Right. Firstly, I will maybe watch a video of the kids' stories for this particular story, and then I will maybe try to understand a bit better, because the things will look a bit different way. Or maybe I will directly read this book and will try to understand the context and the story better. And once I understand it completely, then also I will give another read. So i- the long story short is that if you understand something in the first attempt, give at least one more read. If you give two more reads, that's very good, but don't keep giving more and more and more reads to a particular thing. No, it's not that the more the better. That more also has a particular limit: repetition and novelty. You have to give repetitions, but then you have to move on to some new content as well. Don't just get into that one thing, because now you have understood every damn thing. There is nothing new to acquire, to assimilate in yourself. Now you have to just move on to some other content. First attempt, when you understand things, if you understood something, that's good. Give another read, second read. And if you can, give another read, three reads. Three reads is what I would go for any damn story or any damn thing that I am reading or that I am watching. After third one, just move on to something else, because now there is almost nothing to acquire. Right now, move on to some other content where some of the things will be newer for you, but many of the things will be something that you already have idea of, you already understand, right? And then again, another two reads is something that you must give. Third is a very good enhancer. Don't go for a fourth one. Just don't go. Three reads is a pretty a good benchmark that you can set for yourself, right? And of course, if you don't understand anything at all in the first attempt, then of course you should give as many reads or as many repetitions to that particular content till the time you start understanding at least 90% or 85 to 90% of the content, that is comprehensible input. Once you start understanding at least 85 to 90% of something, that is when your first attempt is over. Now you should give second attempt as well. You will understand some of the things more, which will eventually will lead you to go from 85% to 90%, or if you earlier were at 90%, then maybe to 95%, or maybe even 100%. Right now your two reads or two repetitions are completed, no matter if you're watching, no matter if you're reading. Two repetitions. First repetition, when first repetition is when you understand the thing up to 85 to 90%, that is considered as first repetition. Then give second repetition as well, and third repetition is always a bonus. It's a good thing. If you have time, if you can give time, I highly suggest you to give the third repetition as well, but never go for a fourth one. This is based on my current understanding. It might change by a bit, but this is also something that I have kind of reaped benefits from, right? So this is also coming from a personal experience as well. Three repetitions. First repetition, When you understand 85 to 90%, it, even if you understand it completely, then also it's okay. First repetition is when you understand something well. Second repetition, when you understand something even further. And third repetition is something, an additional thing, just to acquire that language even more strongly. That's it. Don't consider any repetition to be your first repetition where you don't understand any damn thing, or you understand very less of the thing. Let's say you are watching a movie, or let's say you are watching a video, or let's say you are reading a book, let's say a very short story book, and you didn't understand anything, or you didn't understand almost anything, or you understood very less. Don't count it as your first repetition. No, first repetition will always be considered that repetition where you understood at least 85 to 90% or everything of that particular content. If you are in that range, then only it is considered as your first attempt or first repetition. Then go for another repetition, that is your second repetition. Two repetitions are must do repetitions, no brainer. And if you have time, then you can go for a third one also. Even if you don't go for a third one, it's okay, it's fine. You can move on to some newer content. Thank you so much, guys, for watching this video. If you guys want to have one-on-one speaking session practice with me, if you guys don't find anybody, and if you guys want to talk to me, I'm giving you this opportunity, uh, inviting you guys to speak with me. It will be a win-win situation for both of us. We will get to know each other. The links are in the description to reach me out, in the description, in the pinned comment. And if you guys want to say any damn thing, you can leave that down in the comments. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much. Bye.